Coming up in this week's episode of Coast News, a popular theme park in Wales has closed after nearly 40 years of operation, and the opening date of a first of its kind roller coaster in North America has officially been announced. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Coast News. And as always, got some amazing news from different theme parks, rides, attractions and events all over the world. So let's get straight into the news today. Our top story for tonight, and this is actually some really sad news. Oakwood Theme Park has closed permanently after 38 years of operation nearly. And now I've never been to Oakwood Theme Park, but I know that will be absolutely devastating for both the local community of that park, theme park enthusiasts and people who grew up visiting the park for all those years. But yeah, they're just the company that owns it have just announced that it's closed it's not going to reopen this year. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Oakwood Theme Park was an amusement park which first opened in 1987 in Pembrokeshire in Wales. The park was home to 6 roller coasters, 5 of which were still operating by 2024, which was the most recent season of operation. In recent years, Oakwood Theme Park has been struggling with low attendance numbers and rising costs. Asbro Parks, owners of Oakwood Theme Park, put out a statement online a few days ago, and they have said, "It is with much sadness that we have to announce the immediate closure of Oakwood Theme Park and confirm the park will not open for the 2025 season. Following a strategic review of the business, Asbro Parks, owner and operator of Oakwood Theme Park, have reached this difficult decision due to the challenges presented by the current business environment. All possible avenues have been explored to avoid the closure, and we fully recognise the impact of the closure on the local community and the loss that will be felt as a result. Asbro Parks has invested over £25 million since rescuing the park from being at risk of closure in 2008. Most recently, a major refurbishment of Megafobia, the iconic wooden roller coaster, was completed to great success and acclaim from enthusiasts and fans of the park. Despite the ongoing investment, visitor numbers have declined. The financial performance of the park has suffered, making further investment unsustainable. The unrelenting economic challenges ahead, increasing in costs, affecting all areas of the operation from ride parts to electricity costs, food and beverage inflation, increases in NLW and changes to national insurance thresholds have all impacted the decision. In the entire history of Asbro, we have never closed any park or attraction. When our dedicated team of staff has strived to overcome numerous challenges to continue to bring joy to families and visitors across the region and country. Unfortunately, we can no longer see a sustainable way forward and will seek to improve our other parks using the assets and, where possible, team elsewhere. We are aware that Oakwood has been a much-loved destination for generations and a rite of passage for many young visitors. It is for this reason we feel such a sense of sadness. We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the dedication and commitment of our team members past and present, suppliers and contractors who have loyally supported us, and of course, all those that have visited Oakwood Theme Park over the years. We are sincerely grateful. Thank you for making Oakwood Theme Park a special place." So yeah, there you have it. They have closed permanently due to increasing economic challenges and low attendance numbers, which is actually absolutely devastating because Oakwood Theme Park was actually on my bucket list for British theme parks to go to in the next few years, and unfortunately it's looking likely I'm not going to be able to visit anytime soon. But do you have any fond memories of visiting Oakwood Theme Park in any years of its operation? Let me know in the comments below. In other news today, Six Flags Great Adventure have announced the opening date for Flash Vertical Velocity. And it's great to see that this ride now has a concrete opening date after pretty much every other new Six Flags attraction being delayed by about a year. But if you know what I'm talking about, basically, Flash Vertical Velocity is a Vekoma Super Boomerang opening at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey in the United States. The ride was originally planned to open in 2024, but due to supply issues in the construction of the ride, its opening was pushed back to 2025. It stands 164 feet tall, reaches a top speed of 59 miles per hour and has 2 inversions in total. Technically only having one physical, structurally built track inversion with the stalled Immelman, with it being a shuttle coaster, it traverses that Immelman twice, technically making the ride have a total of 2 inversions. Flash Vertical Velocity is North America's first super boomerang, and only the second one ever built worldwide, with the first one being Cloud Shuttle at Fanta Wild Wonderland in China, which opened back in 2023. Six Flags Great Adventure have confirmed recently that they plan to open Flash Vertical Velocity on Saturday the 29th of March 2025. So it's great to see now that they've finally got a opening date for this attraction. Now in terms of new rides being added into the Six Flags landscape of parks across the United States, it's looking pretty promising. We've got this with Flash Vertical Velocity, plus at the Cedar Fair parks, which are now also part of Six Flags, we've also got Siren's Curse at Cedar Point, Alpen Fury at Canada's Wonderland, Wrath of Rakshasa at Six Flags Great America, and so many more. But are you looking forward to experiencing Flash Vertical Velocity when it opens on the 29th of March? Let me know in the comments below. Also in the news today, Chessington World of Adventures have confirmed that Wild Asia will not open during the 2025 season. Now we knew this was going to happen sooner or later, but it finally gives us the confirmation of Project Refresh and Renew, because the plans for that may have now been approved because of this news. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Chessington confirms that both the Wild Asia themed land and Explorer Glamping will remain closed during the 2025 season on their social medias earlier this week. Wild Asia was a themed land within the park, home to attractions such as Cobra, Monkey Swinger, Jungle Bus, Tuk Tuk Turmoil, Lorikeet Lagoon and Temple of Mayhem. Originally known as Circus World from when the theme park first opened in 1987 up until 1999. It would be renamed and rethemed to the iconic Beano Land in the year 2000, and would see the opening of Bash Street Bus a year later, which eventually became Jungle Bus, which operated along with Wild Asia up until last season. The area would only operate as Beano Land for 10 years, before being rethemed to Wild Asia in 2010. The retheme of the area to Wild Asia also introduced Tuk Tuk Turmoil, Temple of Mayhem, Lorikeet Lagoon, Monkey Swinger and Cobra as brand new attractions for the 2010 season. It continued to operate this way up until 2024, when Chessington submitted plans for Project Refresh and Renew, which would involve the complete removal of Tuk Tuk Turmoil, Monkey Swinger and Temple of Mayhem, and have all 3 of those attractions be replaced by a brand new indoor roller coaster, new retail units, and the rumoured Intamin Dynamic Motion stage ride. The plans also involve the relocation of Jungle Bus to where Mexicana is now for Project Play, and the removal of the Explorer Glamping accommodation to expand the area itself, and the retheme and relocation within the area itself of Cobra. Project Refresh and Renew is heavily speculated to be part of a larger partnership between Merlin Entertainments and Mojang Studios to bring location-based experiences based on Minecraft in the UK and the United States. This new land is expected to open in 2027. So with this news that Wild Asia and Explorer Glamping are going to be closed all year, that pretty much all but confirms that possibly that the plans for Project Refresh and Renew have been approved. I'm hoping it's this way anyway, because if we remember, it might not necessarily be approved, because if you remember, back when Thorpe Park first announced Hyperia, they took the decision to close Old Town during the 2022 season, long before plans were actually physically approved. So it's just a case of waiting for the actual news to confirm that the plans for Project Refresh and Renew have been approved, but it's looking likely there has been. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. And finally in the news today, Helios at Fantasiana has officially begun testing. And this is a pretty significant part in what is looking likely to be one of Europe's best roller coasters. But I think this has flown pretty well under the radar. Like, I've only really seen Theme Park Insanity talking about Helios quite a lot. But if you know what I'm talking about, basically, Helios is a brand new striker coaster from German manufacturer Mack Rides, set to open at Fantasiana in Austria this year. It is the second ever striker coaster built by Mack Rides, with the first one being Voltron Nevera at Europa Park in 2024. Helios replaces the iconic Wild Train, a custom Wild Train roller coaster from Russian manufacturer PAX. Helios will feature 3 inversions and use a chain lift hill as its primary propulsion system as opposed to an LSM launch, which can be found on several points throughout Voltron at Europa Park. The ride had its first test run on Thursday and was shared on social media by Fantasiana General Manager Mario Pauritsch. So as we can see from that testing footage, it does actually look pretty good, like especially how quickly it goes up the lift hill. I mean, the ride itself, in terms of stats, it's probably similar to Voltron, maybe slightly shorter. It's probably like maybe about 100 feet tall. But with how quickly it goes up that lift hill, it does look like to build some pretty good speed throughout its layout. Now this ride is probably going to be absolutely incredible. I'm surprised it's flown quite under the radar, considering it's a striker coaster, with the first one being Voltron, which has been absolutely hailed as one of the best roller coasters on the planet. So not just one of the best coasters in Europe, but one of the best ones in the world. So it's up there with the likes of Steel Vengeance, Fury 325 and everything like that. So, you know, it's scheduled, it's pretty much on track to open maybe around spring, summertime, possibly. We'll have to wait and see, but are you excited to ride Helios when it opens later this year at Fantasiana in Austria? Let me know in the comments below. So I want to thank you all very much for watching this week's episode of Coast News. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment where you'd like to see in the next video. Goodbye.